specifically from being burnt down. That's my main reason for being involved.
Quite a collaboration of folks. We're here looking for practical solutions to help us unravel some of the issues surrounding wildfires today here in the state of Oregon. And my focus really is on planning for large wildfire events in advance of their occurrence. That way, when they do occur, we can respond more appropriately to those situations.
Well, I just think it's grand if all of the people all over the state have come together today to be concerned about water. It just warms my heart, because I know that they really will leave here today feeling more impressed about the water, because I have told them that we're all born in water. We cannot live without it. It's our job to take care and stop the garbage in the rivers and streams and oceans, because there's life in that water, and it's our job to keep it clean for them. Because we cannot live on this planet without the animal kingdom. I was in Ohio at the Ohio River with Dr. Emoto, the Japanese scientist who had proven water could heal. He and I stood on the riverbank and blessed the Ohio River that they had us come to do. And I prayed that God has still kept the river good for them over there. We were taught when we were little that prayer works. You too will remember your prayers, because they work. It has nothing to do with religion or church.
Why do counties matter? Simple. Counties provide the services we all depend on. If you're concerned about crime, get a regular flu shot. Drive to work. Take public transportation. Or experience a natural disaster in your community. Chances are, you benefit from county services. That's why counties matter. With America's system of federalism, counties are a key level of government, serving the people directly. So, do you vote? Had a recent hospital stay? Know someone in a nursing home? More reasons why counties matter. There are 3,069 counties across the country, with populations big and small. Most of us live and work in one. Even the nation's capital is considered a county. These county governments ensure that the food you eat in restaurants is safe. They care for the mentally ill, run court systems, build local economies, and operate 911 emergency systems. They manage parks and recreation facilities. And the list goes on. Thing is, counties serve the American people in so many ways, keeping our communities healthy, vibrant, safe, and fiscally sound. That's why counties matter.
Hi there, I'm Patrick Priest, Executive Director at CIS. And I really enjoy coming every year to this conference because CIS, we are all about counties. We are owned by counties. We were formed by the AOC. This is a great occasion for us to meet everybody in one place and learn what's important to the counties all across Oregon.
It's the networking. I mean, we learn a lot about the different issues that counties deal with, but it's networking with other commissioners, getting ideas on how they handle situations that is the most helpful for me.
I love my job. It actually matters to me on a daily basis. I used to do a lot of charity, and, you know, in commissioning in Deschutes County, you can make a serious difference. Lots of things have happened since I've been in office, and I feel like it's important to represent the people. I grew up in Eastern Oregon, and I love the residents of Eastern Oregon. The architect of our first house actually had Doris Day as a dear friend and a client, and he would bring Doris Day up the mountains in Malibu to our house as it was being built.
This is my 4th conference at AOC. My favorite part is the fellowship with other commissioners and coming up with solutions with common situations and with commissioners from around the state to best serve our people. My favorite part about being a commissioner in Josephine County is the people that we work with. We live in the most beautiful place, but we have the most beautiful people. They are talented, artistic, caring. We have such a high level of philanthropy and just caring for our fellow citizens, and it's the best place in all of Oregon.
Hi, I'm Commissioner Martha Schrader from Clackamas County, Oregon. I'm the current president of the Association of Oregon Counties. Oh my goodness, I've been president for 1 year, but I've been a member of the Association of Oregon Counties since 2003. So one of the reasons I really wanted to be president, and I've enjoyed it so much, is because I get to know everybody across the state, all the commissioners, and I've been from one end of the state to the other, visiting with them, talking with them, and really getting an idea of how we differ, but more importantly, what our similarities are and what we can do with one another to move forward with good county government.
I've been coming to AOC now for 4 years. My favorite part of serving as commissioner is trying to bring positive effects for our community and our county.
This is my 2nd year at AOC, and the camaraderie that I've found in my Eastern Oregon partners and just the camaraderie of AOC has really blessed my life.
My name is Court Boyce, Curry County Commissioner. This is a collection of people, county commissioners, public officials, well attended from all over the state. You know, I have the privilege of working with a very diverse group of people, different ages, different backgrounds, different interests, but they're all teaming up to solve the problems of our county. And it's just really a pleasure to be able to be connected with and working with those people. And better days, good days ahead for our county and our citizens.
Hi, I'm Joe Dobulskis. This is my 3rd AOC convention, and my favorite part is the networking with the people. And the breakout sessions are kind of good because it gives me something to focus on, a goal where I want the county to be in 5 years when my term is up.
Hi, I'm Tillamook County Commissioner Dave Yamamoto. Our county college class was probably was the best county college class ever at AOC. It was the largest at over 33 members. When you look at the legislature and the power that the major metropolitan areas have, the rural counties are oftentimes left out of those conversations. AOC really does a terrific job of representing rural counties and rural interests, and we wouldn't have the impact that we do in Oregon without AOC.
My name is Joe Burney, Lane County Commissioner from Springfield. My favorite part is eating good food. My second favorite part is meeting with other commissioners, seeing what they're thinking, comparing solutions to problems, learning how nonpartisan solutions really are, and getting ideas. Yes.
Hi, my name is Derek DeGroot, Klamath County Commissioner. So I'm running for 2nd Vice President of the Association of Oregon Counties. I believe that our association is perfectly poised to solve problems and bring solutions to Oregon politics and communicate with the legislature about the diversity of Oregon.
I'm Jay Bozovich, and I'm a Lane County Commissioner. And so I've been a commissioner for about 8 years and 11 months. And my favorite part about being a commissioner is this job is different every day.
Hi, my name is Alex Tardif, and I'm a commissioner for Columbia County and currently serving as AOC Treasurer in my 2nd year. And the thing I enjoy most about AOC and being the treasurer is the ability to bring 36 counties together to build a state vision, to move our state forward into the future while building a livable, workable community that we all want to enjoy.
One of the things I really appreciate about our entire region is that we embrace who we are, and I think that's what unifies us. Once the timber and fishing industries collapsed, it took us a long time to get back on our feet. People didn't quite grasp the idea that once these jobs left, they weren't going to get other family wage jobs, and it crippled us.
Things were getting really dire. So we just saw that this was an opportunity to maybe look at that public land a little differently and how it could bring more dollars into our region.
The Wild Rivers Coast is so unique because there are more wild and scenic rivers here than anywhere else in the lower 48 states. The scenic beauty is just amazing. There's so many different places to go, from the national forest down to the protected ocean, and it's just a really special place.
I guess I didn't really know how special it was, though, until I moved away to Portland and came back and saw all the potential here.
We're uncrowded, we're unspoiled, and we're a little difficult to get to, but my God, once you come here, you fall in love.
We just thought if we could pull people to come into this Wild Rivers Coast and stay longer and explore a little farther.
Okay, we're out of executive session, back into regular session. Again, the date is January 12th, 2021. We just left executive session, OR 192.660, 1A, employment of a public officer. Glass is fogging up. So now we're ready to have our deliberations. I'll tell you, pretty tough duty, huh, guys? We've got some incredible candidates.
Yep.
Incredible candidates. I want to tell the public and the board, certainly I have no conflict of interest related to this important decision today. However, I am declaring to the board and the citizens, I've worked with George Rhodes. Boy, I've got to know him the last 4 years, as I have with Terry Hanscom, former Curry County Commissioners, David Brock Smith, certainly Lloyd Olds, David Itzen, Georgia Nallen, Lucy Labonte, Rocky McVeigh. These people all take my calls, and they are tremendous resources. And I'm
Bill Waddle.
Bill Waddle. Shoot, I wouldn't want to leave him out. Thank you, Commissioner. I'm truly in awe of their strong commitment, how much they still care for this county and are willing to help. So I rely on them a lot. But that I'm going to be recommending former Commissioner Rhodes. And then, but yeah, there was all 5 really good candidates. You mentioned the Checo Bar fire with Recovery Council, that we had dozens of meetings, and you know, I shared in his passion and the pain and the reality of the damage that did to our watersheds and our forest, our wilderness, and he's just a great Curry County citizen, as are all 5. So that's just that disclaimer there. It wouldn't affect me because I've known him and grown to rely on his wise counsel. So I'm going to go to Commissioner Herzog if you have any comments or a direction that you would like the board to go right now, and as we pursue this selection on a very, very important elected position.
My number 1 pick would be Douglas Baker.
Okay. Anything you want to add to that?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Pash?
Well, first, I would like to also say thank you to everyone that showed up here today to brave what they did to get here. I was very glad to see that they all showed up, actually. I want to begin this on a sad note, and the sad note is that we had, with what happened in the election this year, and I know it's looking back, but it's sad because we had a candidate that got almost 45% of the vote. That had things turned out differently, she would probably be the elected treasurer. That said, because of the process that this board brought forward, we have, in my opinion, have two very qualified people to be treasurer that are hands down, in my opinion, way overqualified to be a county treasurer. My choice to be treasurer would be David Barnes. His depth and the amount of work that he has put into his profession over many decades, knowing him personally, meeting with him on a lot of occasions, talking about a lot of the different issues. He's been involved in this county for years, week after week, month after month, consistently gives freely, and has offered to do grants, has offered to do a lot of things in the county. He's actually, with the Sheriff's Department, did the Life Fest thing this year. He continually gives to the county. Him and I have had a few bad words at times. He's disagreed with me on some things, and I actually like that. I think partially we do well together because we're originally both East Coasters. I'm a New Yorker, he's from New Jersey, and we kind of speak our minds a little bit, sometimes go overboard. But for qualifications, I think Mr. Barnes, having the experience that he's had with some major universities, writing software programs, the understanding of auditing, of grants, of the business sense that it would take to be the treasurer of the county. Some of the references that he just showed us here, I think far exceed what this county would need as a treasurer's position. So I humbly submit his name as my first choice for treasurer.
Back to you again.
Did we hear from the treasurer?
Huh?
Did we hear from the treasurer?
She's not in on the decision. We can. Do you want to?
Thank you for allowing me to be part of that interview. There are many qualified. We had 5 candidates that were all really good, but I looked at the persons that, the people that were here, who we could work with, who would work well with the team we have, and their positive input. And I have to say, David Barnes he did a great job. He has been a mentor to me somewhat, and he's just always, he's positive, and I appreciate that. But that would be my take, for what it's worth.
Okay, thank you.
So,
You were next.
will we? So we each have 3 different first picks. So I say my second pick, and then we do the adding up of that way.
I think that'd be fine to go that route. I have a little bit more to comment, but
okay.
Maybe I'll do that and come back to you. I was in business a long time, employed a lot of people, and so George Rhodes has created a lot of jobs. He has an economic development background, which I think is going to be beneficial, would be beneficial to this county. He and Mr. Baker were both veterans. I'm not biased for that, but that I think gets a lot of the citizens' attention in this county. I think Mr. Rhodes is the best bet historically for how he gets along with people and how well he knows these departments in and out. He knows the taxing districts. He was here a long time.
With a lot going on right now, I see him as a very stabilizing force. Great wisdom, great kindness, great commitment to his country and his family, and certainly his faith. And I think he's very trustworthy, very trustworthy. You know, I could go on about him and some of the other commissioners. He's available. When I say that I was impressed with the level of applicants, that was genuine. That was sincere. That was out of gratitude. My second choice would be, Mr. Baker. And I didn't realize he'd been here 9 years. He's from North County, which needs good representation. I don't know how critical a factor that is, but I think it's worth noting. That's my two. George Rhodes, number one, and Douglas Baker, number two. Really tough, but I'm grateful that we have some, again, highly qualified people.
So my number one would be Douglas Baker. My number two would be David Barnes.
I'll change my number one, because I'm not to Douglas Baker then. Because I don't want to be in an impasse, and I don't think we can lose with any one of them. Yes, Mr. Commissioner Pash.
My hesitancy with Mr. Baker, and again, I think he interviewed very well. My hesitancy with him was his understanding of districts and economic development. He commented a couple of times that when he was asked directly about districts and economic development, that he didn't have any experience with that. Do I think he could get up to speed on it? Yes, but I think what we're getting with Mr. Barnes is a car that's full of gas and ready to go. You know, he's, in my opinion, far and away the best candidate for the job, with education, with experience, and he's been at this county day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. Knows every facet of the county, as well as our treasurer just attested to, has been a mentor to her. He's mentoring our treasurer, so that to me tells me that she has a lot of confidence in him as well. So I just find very little wrong with Mr. Baker, but I just want to say I think that Mr. Barnes is the five-star candidate, and that's just my opinion.
Do we need a second interview on those two? Probably not. Go ahead.
Well, I will say this, and I appreciate Mr. Barnes saying this. In his interview, I can share what was said in the interview, that if you see somebody that really wants this job and fits the bill, I have no problem with that. And he shared that again with me in the hallway, and I appreciate that, Mr. Barnes. And I appreciate that, but I also, Mr. Douglas, or Douglas Baker was my pick first off, and I'm going to stick with that. And David was second. So how we come to a decision is
get out of the impasse.
Yeah.
So I could use a motion. If you're ready to do that, Council Huddle, did you have anything?
No, I'm trying to remember how we have phrased these kind of things, but I think it is to direct staff to make a offer conditional upon background check is the typical thing if there's going to be a motion to be made.
Good. Okay. So your motion is conditional on that. If you're ready to make, strictly if you want to make a motion.
Well, if we're done deliberating.
I am.
Then I would make a motion that the board I'm trying to think of the word, appoint, because this is an appointment, not an election. Douglas Baker as the treasurer until the next voting election cycle.
Thank you. I will second that motion for Douglas Baker to become the appointed Curry County Treasurer to fill the vacancy that we're finding ourselves with a duty to fill. So we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Call for the question. Staff Jesuit.
Commissioner Pash.
Nothing personal against Mr. Baker. I vote no.
Vice Chair Herzog.
Yes, sir.
Chair Boyce.
Yes.
Motion carried 2-1.
I want to commend the board for this hard work. Whoop, excuse me. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm David Barnes. I just want to thank the board for the opportunity to be interviewed and considered for this position. As we said this morning in the interviews, I'd be more than willing to serve on the oversight of the Watchdog Commission for this on behalf of the Board of Commissioners if you decided to implement one. And also, when the time comes, please call on me to be a member of your budget committee. And, you know, again, thank you for the opportunity. And like I said, no hard feelings about anything.
Stay there if you would, mind, please. That's a terrific attitude, wonderful attitude.
Yep.
And you had mentioned, and I had not thought of this, the Coos County connection, to the extent that we might at some point. You also said something I really picked up on, Mr. Barnes. That was you would be willing to be the liaison on any possible future if we decided to consider that path. We've got some really good friends and connections in Coos County. They're very well managed. It's close, and I thought that was beyond noteworthy. And I'm very glad to hear you emphasize and offer again that you'd be on the budget committee. And I would not discourage you from running for treasurer 2 years from now. You know, if we have that position, you probably won't.
Like I said earlier, the county found itself in a bind and needing somebody, and I happen to have the qualifications that you needed, so I offered my services. One thing I will offer to you now, though, is that over the next 2 weeks, as Mr. Baker trains with Ms. Crumley, that I'd be more than willing to sit on in and be trained as well, so that the county does have somebody who at least knows the function should something happen. We've gone a long time without having anybody except for Ms. Crumley who knows how to do the treasurer's job. And in terms of controls and risk, that's not a good thing, you know. So if you were interested in that, you know, I wouldn't want to be paid for it, but I would sit in on the training and just oversee, not interrupt in any way, but just so that I can learn it too, so that if something happens, there is somebody else who knows the process, knows that on the 1st of the month this has to happen, the 15th, and so forth. So
hey, stay there. We may very well, and this is a responsibility perhaps, we did not get done the last half of 2020. We need a deputy treasurer. And that sounds like, I can't speak for the board right now, but I'm going to be encouraging that position. And since you were runner-up here, I don't know why we wouldn't run to your telephone and say, would you consider that position?
Like I said, I'm open to help the county in any way that I can. You know, we're a small community. People need to step up. It's part of my what I feel is my civic obligation.
So we'll come back to that in just a minute. Go ahead,
Appreciate
if you don't mind staying there. Commissioner Pash?
Well, I just, you know, we're offering this right now, and we're not sure. It is contingent on a background check. And he may look at us and say, you know what, I've thought about this, and I don't want to make that commute every day. So I think right now it might behoove the board for the few dollars that it is, if you wanted to, and Mr. Barnes didn't object, to possibly do the background checks on both to expedite until we get a signed order from him saying it's good.
Council Huddle?
Or would it, is it the will of the board that we make a, I don't want to act like it's a commodity here, but a backup offer? In other words, what is the will of the board if, for instance, as you say, Mr. Baker says, I changed my mind, do we automatically go to Mr. Barnes? Is that the will of the board, or do we want to come back and re-deliberate? I mean, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but that might be, we are in a pickle here, and it might be just the quickest way.
Yeah, it would expedite things.
I think that would.
I don't think we want to deliberate anymore.
Okay.
I think
that
we're.
That will be so a backup offer to Barnes contingent upon Baker, et cetera.
Yes.
Passing background check.
If that's all right with Mr.
Yes, could we, before we do, can we go just a little further and make that job title Deputy Curry County Treasurer?
Slow down, no, it would, Mr. Barnes, again, I'm trying to rephrase what I thought the discussion was. Currently, there has been a motion in the past that would make an offer to Baker contingent on passing background check.
Microphone.
Sorry. Thank you, Eric. So anyway, the current motion that, well, the action currently is to make an offer to Mr. Baker conditional on passing background check, but also as Commissioner Pash raised a possibility, he may say, I changed my mind after seeing, the terms, et cetera. And then the question would be, do we want to, again, we don't have a lot of time, do we want to have a backup motion that in the event Baker declines, do we offer to Barnes? And that's the question. It's not title deputy or any of that stuff. It's just, it would be filling the vacancy.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so is there a motion to that effect? You can say so moved.
So moved.
All right, any second?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor? Oh, sorry, JJ, you roll call?
You simplify things, that's good.
Very good.
Commissioner Pash.
Yes.
Vice Chair Herzog.
Yes.
Chair Boyce.
Yes.
Motion carried unanimously.
And there's no T in Herzog, by the way.
Those Easterners.
So I want to give the commissioners each a chance for just a quick closing comment. I'm just going to offer that, goodness, this is our 5th meeting so far this year, and I'm just proud of overall of what we've got accomplished. I think our meeting pace will slow down along with our agenda items. We're very anxious to get the new treasurer in position, and we've got a meeting tomorrow. Good job, guys, for being available and tuned in, and see you all tomorrow at 9 o'clock unless anyone has anything additional. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.